One of the most asked questions I saw from folks is just how are you personally navigating the crisis financially? Like, what are you buying? What are you selling? Where are you watching? Where do you think opportunities on the investment side?
I mean, I've been lucky. Like my entertainment businesses have gotten crushed. I mean, I'm losing a shitload of money there, right? Just crushed. But, I was lucky that my core holdings were Netflix and Amazon. And so, that's kind of balancing some things out. So I'm fortunate there. But I still am going to cash. The market's going up, and there's good reasons why the market's going up, right? For all the good things that we just talked about, right? 3 years, 5 years from now, the market will be up from where we are today. It will be up, who knows how much, but it'll be better. But I still think we have a leg down. And so I've gone to cash. And even if not in the public markets, if I'm wrong in the public markets, I think there's going to be companies that need capital in this America 2.0 that are going to be what we just talked about, right? There's going to be, when we look back in 10 years, there's going to be some amazing companies that were created, and having access to cash or having cash is going to give me the opportunity to invest in them. And like I said, I'm super excited about that. I don't know who it's going to be, but if you got it, bring it to me.
Forget Bitcoin for a second. Let's just stick with other non-public assets. Anything around gold, land, commodities, anything in there?
I think commodities will go up because I think we'll get at least some modicum of inflation. And as companies kind of try to protect their own manufacturing and try to really bring core necessities domestically, I think that could push up the value of commodities. I couldn't tell you which ones to invest in, but just generically and on a macro basis. I'm not a big gold fan. I analogize that more to Bitcoin. And just because what are you going to do, right? Yeah. We saw it all hit the fan, and there ain't nobody walking around with gold. There ain't nobody asking for payment in gold. And we're printing money as fast as we can, and things aren't deflating or inflating, at least not yet, right? And so I don't see that as being a solution. We saw what happened to oil, right? And so manufacturers, can come in, or the drillers, in this case, Saudi Arabia and Russia, the leaders can come in and just turn an industry upside down. And the same thing can happen with gold, you know, so.
What about on the real estate side? Anything there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking, right? I'm trying to be opportunistic and agile, not necessarily to take advantage of people's misfortune, but I just think that there'll be a lot of reformulating because there's so many companies that were leveraged, so companies went to go buy land or buildings or shopping centers, whatever it may be, and they put down very little capital and they went and borrowed more. And, then they sold that, then the lenders sold that in tranches. And, I think you're going to see some deleveraging there, which creates some opportunities to buy land, but you're not seeing all those discounts yet, except in big dense cities that have had like New York. You're starting to see condos, the prices there just drop like a rock. So if you think you want to live in New York in the future, now's the time to buy. If you think you want a house in an area that's been hit hard, Detroit or wherever it may be, now's the time to buy. So I think for personal purposes, it's a good time if you have cash, to buy real estate.
For sure. NBA, obviously, it's going to come back at some point.
But before we go there, let me say one other thing in terms of investment.
Okay.
College, right? You got to rethink where you're going to school and whether you're going to borrow money at all. And colleges themselves, you got to make sure your college isn't going to go out of business, because their sources of revenue have just gone. They're gone, right? They dried up like that. A lot of colleges made their money off of international students coming in and paying full ride in terms of tuition and room and board. They can't get in the country, and if they get in, they might not be able to get out, and they may not have the capital, or be able to afford. And so you're going to see a lot of rejiggering of universities, public and to a lesser extent, the Ivy League schools are going to be okay because of their endowments, but below that, you're going to see a lot of reformatting, a lot of rethinking, and who knows when students go back. And so if your school was going to force you to do online learning anyways, why are you going to pay for a full credit when you can go to any of the other online sources, or go to Coursera and learn the same stuff for free and then try to test out, or go to a local community college and then go test out or transfer your credits? So beware that colleges, their economics are changing so dramatically that the world's going to be different. If you're one of those who wanted to go to that school because it's got a great football or basketball team, they may not be playing anyways, and it's not going to be as social. Fraternities, sororities are going to have to rethink everything. Dorms are going to have to rethink everything. And so we talk about going to arenas. Think about going back to school. It's not just about going to class or watching class. Where are you going to live? You know, there's just so many elements involved in college life that are going to change. That probably after some of the entertainment industries, one of the most negatively impacted industries is going to be schools, universities. And as a potential student, as a current student, you need to look at this as the biggest investment you're going to make over the next 10, 15 years and really reevaluate what your choices were.
Yeah, the stat that I saw was the average Calculus 1 course in America in person, $2,500, online $400. Right, so
and then there's free versions too, right? And so at the school you want to go to, you can test out, go take it on Coursera or whatever, and just try to test out.
Yeah,
you know, and then that's the same with jobs too, man. Jobs are going to be completely different. What are you going to do for your first job? You're going to take any job because you're not trying to get a career. You're a free agent, right? And that free agent, you're just going to pay your bills. You just want to have some liquidity. You want to have some semblance of normalcy and confidence in your financial future. And then as you learn, and look, you just paid for college. Now you're getting paid to learn when you get to that first job. Even if it's the worst job ever, you're going to learn what you don't like. And then go from there and just start bouncing from job to job to job till you get to one you love, or you figure out that there's something in this job you don't realize you love, but now you love. But the way you approach your job life is going to be completely different.
Yeah, getting paid to learn is better than paying to learn, for sure.